Hello and welcome. It is Thursday the 30th of June, and this is my Centenary vlog. Yes, this is my 100th vlog, and thank you to you all who have been following me. Thank you for your very positive feedback, and thank you to those who have been less generous. It's always to get interesting, and I'm very happy to accept people who object to what I say. That's what it's all about. Now, what I also have to say is that my last vlog of a couple of weeks ago seems to have generated more people who have been quite vehement about what I said. For those of you who haven't seen it, the main thrust of it was I was asked two main questions. The first was, how would I deal with or try and resolve the current train drivers dispute that's going on here in the UK? And the second question is, could I clarify my views on Brexit? Both very contentious subjects, I would accept, though I think some people have gone a bit too far, and most of them those who are objecting want some sort of apology, and particularly those who voted for leave in the Brexit campaign. They definitely want an apology because they think I said that I was blaming them for Brexit. Likewise, when it came to the train dispute, another of you objected to the fact that I didn't disagree with it. Well, so here's an example. I'll just read you a couple of examples of what came our way. Angela from London. How could you report the rail strike? How could you support the rail strikes when they are paralysing the country? Graham from Colchester. Why do you insist the government has provoked the strikes when we all know it's the communist leaders like Arthur Scargill in the 1970s who wanted to bring the Tory government down? And Jennifer in Slough. Why are you defending these dinosaurs who want to hang on to archaic working practices and are refusing to modernise the railways? This is the fault of the Putin-loving unions and wreckers. Why is Keir Starmer, for those outside our shores, Keir Starmer is the Labour leader, the opposition party in the UK. Why is he silent on this matter? Is it because he is in the pocket of the Marxist unions? Well, sorry for laughing there. But if any of you want to know what my politics are, I turn you to chapter 9 of my book, Let Zygons Be Zygons, published by Fantastic Books Publishing. Well, I'll try and respond to those in a minute. What else? Who was that? Well, first of all, Angela, you say that the country was paralysed by the strikes. Well, if I may, that is a little bit of a hyperbole, if a hyperbole can be a little. Because, yes, some people were inconvenienced, I agree, and it is horrible. But the vast majority, when the strikes were on, worked from home. After all, they got used to it during the lockdown. So it's not like when we had the tanker strikes. Within 3 days, the whole country was at full stop. So that Jennifer, yes, you're going on about the dinosaurs, etc. The railways are already very well modernised, and they have been for a number of years. And the railway bosses over those years have negotiated very successfully with the RMT, and there've been no problems at all. But the current situation is that recently the government drew up new contracts with the bosses, saying that whatever negotiations are made with the unions, the government effectively have to sign them off. And our current transport secretary is refusing at the moment to get round the table and sign things off. But the bosses say they've come to an agreement. So for him to refuse so, in my opinion, is provoking the situation. Right, and I agree that Keir Starmer should say something, but it should also be noted that the RMT is not affiliated to the Labour Party, and so whatever Keir Starmer may say, it's rather mute. So that's all I can say on that, really. At no time did I sort of say that I didn't support or I would support the strike. I was simply asked, what would I do? And my answer was, I'd get round the table and get on with it. It should also be noted, going back, Graham, you mentioned Arthur Scargill, he was actually the 1980s to do with the miners' strike under the Thatcher government. And since those miners' strikes, there have been new laws and rules. Unions have to actually have a ballot of all members if they consider strike action is necessary and picketing. And the rules, I understand, say that the votes have to be 58% plus one before they can say they can go ahead with a strike. That figure may be slightly wrong. I'm quite happy for people to correct me if you think I'm wrong. But as it happens, the RMT had their ballot and they had a 71% turnout, which, to be honest, every general election would be over the moon if we had that sort of percentage turnout. And of the 71%, 89% voted yes. And when it actually came to the strikes, they all sort of walked out, which to me suggests there is something very serious. Because if the union membership didn't agree with the reason for the strikes being called, they wouldn't have voted for it. But hey-ho. Now, regarding Brexit, if you listen to what I said, you will find that I just said I wasn't unhappy with the result. I was just unhappy with the way that it was brought about. And I blamed all politicians on all sides for the situation. And I criticised all politicians on either side of the argument for not having plans for whatever the result might have been. And so whatever we're peddled, it is fair to say after 6 years, we're not that far down the road when it comes to Brexit, and there's a long, long way to go. And so I'm saying, pull your finger out and do whatever. And the mess that we are in, I blame all the politicians, and that's why I said they should be sent to the tower. So, again, at no time did I blame the individuals for voting. I mean, a lot of you say the reason you wanted to leave was because you were tired of a bureaucratic and what you thought was a corrupt organisation trying to control us, and that the UK should have control of their laws and what they get up to at a certain level. I agree with you there. Well, I think that might be the end of the lesson. Let me just check what notes I made. No, that's it. Rules have changed, and I hope I've answered the questions. I will admit at times I do like to provoke. Some would use the phrase en genre provocateur, but for the things I'm being challenged about my previous vlog, I'm terribly sorry, but I think you haven't listened. Well, here endeth the lesson. Until next time, toodle pip.